Welcome to Cloud Pandit. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, friends. In this BI Master program, so we are talking about parsing REST API collection results and importing into Azure SQL database. Basically, I'm going to read data from REST API and I will load data into the SQL database. This is basically has a list. So I need to iterate through those list of values and load it into a Azure SQL database. Okay. So many people reached out to me for this particular kind of a scenario. They are struggling to handle this kind of scenario. So I just wanted to help all of you. So that's why I'm just doing this particular video. Let's move on to our lab directly. Basically, so our source is REST API. Our target is going to be Azure SQL database. So I no need to create any source. Source is not a service. It's a just URL which you need to make a request. I have already URL. Okay, this is the URL that I'm going to query. So once I make the request, once I just access this URL, I'll get some data. That data I need to pass it and load it into SQL database. Now let's quickly go and create the Azure SQL database. Just click create SQL database. Okay. So because whatever I do, basically what I do is I try to do from very scratch, because people who are starting from here, they should be able to understand. Okay. So like that, let me call it as a Cloud Pandit SQL Server 0628. Okay. And let me just create this server with some other name. Let's say Cloud Pandit SQL Server. Okay. 2. Otherwise, let's make it as a SQL Server. And this is the username that I need to give. The username that I'm giving is Cloud Pandit, and you can just enter password here. Remember, this username and password is very important for us. And you see this server, it is throwing some error. Specified server name is already in use, meaning somebody else is using this particular server. To make this particular server, what you need to do, make it as a number 2 or something you can add. But real time, like in real time, the naming convention is not like this. Okay, as you know, right? We have already discussed all these things. Just click review plus create, because I don't record any sample data for our lab. Okay. Now, once I have created the Azure SQL database, let's open the same portal.azure.com in another tab. So let me create the data factory as well. Just click create. So I hope you can find a number of videos in data factory, like in YouTube, how to create data factory and Azure SQL database. I don't think I need to explain these simple things for you. Okay, so let me make it as 28. And let's make it as one more 2 you can add. Okay, for today morning session, I just added one Cloud Pandit 0628. So this one, I'm just marking it as a 2. So that this particular data factory is going to be globally unique. So why it is throwing error? Because one important step we forgot, come to Git configuration. If you want to integrate your data factory with Azure DevOps, you can do that, or GitHub you can integrate. Okay, you can integrate data factory with Azure DevOps or GitHub. If you want to configure it later, just click on this. Okay, but as part of our normal training, we have learned all those things, how to do those things. Click create. So now I created the SQL database and Azure Data Factory. People who are not aware, so people who are watching this video first time, you need to know few things. If you want to connect to the SQL database, there are total 3 ways. One is using SSMS, SQL Server Management Studio. And what happens is some people will face issues while installing the SSMS. For those people, the easiest option is they can use something called Azure Data Studio, which nowadays people are using even in industry. Azure Data Studio. You just go to this particular thing. You just type it here, click download and install Azure Data Studio. Come down, you see something called here user installer. Just click on this. It is a exe file. Once you download that, you can simply type here Azure Data Studio, double click on this. Once you double click on this, you will get something like this. Okay, you'll get something like this. Okay. You will get some data, something like, it will open something like this. If you want to connect to the new database, whenever you want to connect, just click on new connection here. You can see, okay. Even if it is not showing all these options, you will see something on new connection. Click on that, it will show all these options. I'll tell you how to connect. We are going to connect one by one. So that's how the second way. We just have seen second way. Third way is within Edu SQL database, there is something called query editor that you can use to connect to the SQL database. I know many of you know these things. If you think you know all these things, you can quickly pause this video and you can just look at your whatever main concept that I'm discussing in this particular session. Okay, let's wait for a few minutes. Yeah, our SQL database is available. Data Factory is also available. Let's go to database. First thing is we need to set server firewall. Whenever you change your network, if you are using your office laptop, remember you will have a challenges. You will not be able to connect to the SQL database due to the corporate organization. You can say like due to corporate firewalls, you will not be able to connect to this particular SQL server. Try to learn these things through your personal laptop. But if you're working for a particular project or for freelancing project, so they will give you the required access. So there won't be any issues for you. Now, as I mentioned, come to Edu Data Studio, click on this, and you can just keep it here. Let me just type your username which I have given, and the password. This is the one. I mentioned the important things that you should remember. These are the user and password we have given when we have creating the server. Okay. This is going to be your database name. Just paste the database name. There is a space, remove it, click connect. So now we just connected to our new server. It will come up, just you wait for a while. Okay, you can see it is coming up here. Okay, sometimes what happens due to some issues, your Edu Data Studio will not pop up those things here. That new server which are connected, that will not be visible here. What you need to do, you just have to just click on this once again. You see here, just to clear this list, existing things you can remove. If you think you don't require, come to saved connections. These things what you need to do. So try to remove all the things which you don't require, okay, so that there won't be any issues for you. See which is the one. These are the my previous things which I'm just deleting, which I don't require, so that I don't have any issues while connecting to this new server. Okay, I'll just connect to this server once again. How to connect? Take this server name, enter your username and password. Here you need to enter your database name, bring this database name, the database name here, click connect. Yeah, it's connected now. You can see it is coming up here. Right click on this and click new query. It is the easy and the best way. Okay. So in some time it will connect to the required server and the required database, whatever you have in this. Okay. So now what we need to do, meanwhile, see tables, everything came, but we don't have any table. I don't want to create any table basically from my end, because in REST API, I have a lot of columns. So I don't want to create table by my own. So what I wanted to do, I want to create table from Azure Data Factory automatically, okay, based on my REST API results. Come here, now open your Data Factory. So now what we have ready, we have our target is ready. Our REST API URL is with me. So same URL you will receive from your client. And our database is already available. So in real time as a developer, you are not responsible to create it. If you're working in a startup, maybe you are responsible for creating, but if you're working for MNC or something, you're not responsible for creating this. There is a dedicated team for that. So now we have REST API and our target SQL database, both are available. By using ADF, I want to read data from REST API and load it into the SQL database. Let's try. So how many linked services we need? As we discussed, one linked service for our source, one linked service for our target. So I'm not talking about integration and schedule, all those things. Okay. So you should learn those things, very basic things. Okay, otherwise you need to join training. There are only two options. Let's try to connect to the REST API. Select REST, and then what you need to do, let me move, just a minute, let me move the so REST. Okay, and here you can say LS. This is the naming convention you should use. Linked service for REST API. And by using Azure integration runtime, auto resolve means region will be selected automatically to improve the performance. That's why always use auto resolve integration runtime, except due to some security issues we need to go for a Azure integration runtime in a particular location. Otherwise, now we need to put the base URL. This is the base URL. Very important thing is base URL is having some API. This is the API key, okay, that I just put it here. Now basically this I have taken from one of the website, that is apiweathermap.org. So you don't require, you don't need to pass any credentials. Basically this API key itself is a validator. So if you use this key, which is nothing but it's a validation thing. So only people who has signed up in that particular website, they can able to generate the API key. So I signed up and I generated the API key. Okay, this is the API key. I'm able to connect it, create it. So my target, what is my target? My target is going to be SQL database, right? So select the SQL database. In LS for Azure SQL DB, and try to use this. But as part of our learning, we learned Azure Key Vault, all those things as part of our training. But no, I don't want to touch all those things. Okay, this is the one SQL authentication, managed identity, other parts also we covered. See, this is what very important. Credentials are very important. So password, at least password, we can keep it in a keyword. So all these things we covered as part of normal training. But here I'm not covering because it basically increases the length. Let me enter my password once again carefully. Test connection. Sorry, I connected to wrong server. The server which we have created is 2, and database which I have created is the one. Okay, that's why the connection is failing. Let's connect to this. Okay, test connection is successful, created. Now we have created our source connection and sync connection, isn't it? Now go to author tab. So data set, let's create a 2 data sets as we discussed. REST API data set we need. Come to REST, click continue. That's all you need to do. So what happens is REST API data set, it will not pop up, it will not show anything. If you are going to create data set from any activity, you need to come back to the data set and you need to set all these linked service selection, CUR, something. Let's say in sometimes what happens, the client will ask you to like iterate through day by day and fetch the data. What you need to do, using this relative URL, you need to pass start date. Okay, all these things we have discussed basically. But yeah, you just let me know if anybody needs such type of help. Okay, so I'll tell you. So you can put that start date, end date. So between that period, it is going to bring the data. Okay, that's all you need to do. Let's create new data set. So our target is going to be Azure SQL database. Click continue. Okay, come to linked service. Sorry, this is going to be your data set. Remember, you need to mark it as a data set, DS underscore Azure SQL database. So tables are not showing. What I wanted to do, I want to create a table automatically. In the schema is going to be database object. DBO is the schema. And my table name is going to be, I'll just say Cloud Pandit TBL. This is going to be Cloud Pandit table. As the table is not existed, you cannot import schema, select none. As the data on the table does not exist, you can't import schema, select none and click OK. Okay, so now create a pipeline and copy activity. I hope, see, now whoever think about Azure Data Factory, they must know Azure copy activity, because you can see n number of videos on copy activity, right? So a lot of people are making videos. You can just get some idea from those people. So source and sync, we have two linked data sets you need to select. Our source is what? REST API. Okay, just select REST resource. If you want to rename this, you can rename this. Okay, it's not a big issue. So now in this, what we can do, we can rename this. Let's quickly rename this. Let's say data set for REST, REST API. Okay, come to pipeline one. So pipeline one name also you can mark it as a something PL underscore. Okay, and you can say REST API to Azure SQL DB data load. Okay, daily load or whatever, historical load, full load, whatever. Okay. Now in this, so I just selected my source data set and I can select the sync. So I want to load data into this. But what is the table name? Cloud Pandit TBA. Now you can mark it as an auto create table. Okay. You can mark it as an auto create table, which is basically going to create the table in your database. Now let's move on to the source and let's preview the data. So this is the data. If you look at this list, this is the iterator, which is basically it has a multiple items. You need to take one by one, one by one. You can see like we have till here one item. Again, DT main, it started. You see DT main is started. Here you can see DT main one item. Again, you have your DT main. This is the second item. Again, you can see somewhere DT main. So these are the collection of items. Now, how to understand this result carefully is copy entire thing, I'll tell you. There are a lot of things are there. Let me quickly copy all of these things. I'm just copying all this result. Copy this. So now what we need to do here, just click on this new tab and you can say online JSON viewer. You can just type it. Click on this online JSON viewer, paste it and go to viewer. So you see how many items we have. See, this is the COD, message and CNT. If you go to list, you can see a lot of items we have. Okay. So what is indicates this 0 is nothing but a one record in the database. One is nothing but a one more record in the database. This is going to be one more record in the database. Like that, I need to keep iterating through one by one item, one by one item. Okay. So I have a lot of items. I have what I need to do now. Come to your data factory once again. So a lot of people are struggling these particular things, how to handle. So what people will do, they'll try to, what they basically doing is they are trying to put something, import schemas. Okay. So now I'll show you the problem, then I'll tell you how you can resolve this particular issue. So when you look at here, like you can just mark it as art advanced editor so that you will see these things. Okay, you will see this. So when people have typed like this, when you people try like this, what is going to happen? Only one row will come. Let me just debug this and show you. Let's see now. Yes, it got failed. Let's see why it got failed. So you need to see some of the mistakes. Incorrect syntax near weather. So there is a problem at the weather side. So when you do import schema, like import schema, there will be a problems. You need to handle those things because you are handling like basically you are saying automatically import this schema. See, this is the problem. When you say import schema, automatically ADF makes some mistakes. See, this is a mistake ADF has made. We did not make any mistake. Okay. So now what we need to do, we need to check those errors. Why it is coming? Because whatever formula, dynamic content that should be there this side, that is added this side. Okay. So now what you need to do, you just have to put this is just a weather ID. You need to put weather ID. If you look at here, you can see this is the ID, weather ID. You can put weather ID or simply ID. Okay. So then remaining things, you can look at here, remaining things, a lot of things we have. Remaining things, everything will go smooth. Let's try to debug. It is succeeded. Now let's move on to this. And what is the table that we have created here? Let's refresh. Okay, let me just look at this result. what you can do, you just directly say select the star from Cloud Pandit TBL, Cloud Pandit TBL, and run it. So you see only one row I got it, but how I can able to iterate through other items? How I can able to iterate through other items? So this is where problems comes. If you look at, if you ask people who are working on ADF, many people are not aware of this. And I just checked with one of the person, he reached out to the Microsoft and he got some suggestion. Okay, so Microsoft suggested to go with Logic Hub. I don't know, but whom he has reached out. So that is something wrong. The reason is ADF itself can provide. Okay, ADF can able to iterate through the items. You may ask, can I use this copy activity within a for loop, and can I take one by one value and can I pass here one, something like this? Yes, if you pass one, okay, that will work, but you cannot pass any value dynamically to here. You can hard code. For sure it will work. If you hard code, for sure it will work. I know. Let me show you if you want. Okay, you just okay, let me just change all these things. Okay, now you can see I just changed it from 0th index to 1th index. Okay, now what is going to happen? First, let's go to our JSON viewer. So in our list, so our first object, if you look at our first object, if you look at this is the data that we copied right now. Okay, you can see the ID number is 800 here, the ID number is 600. Let's see DT value, how much we have in our target. It's a 800. 800 means what? So this value. If you have any doubt, let's look at the main temp value. Temp value is 300.46. You can see. Let's look at this next value, 301.72. Something like this, first row we got. Now I just changed manually from value from 0 to 1. This will work. Let's debug. See, this is succeeded. Now come back once again. Let's run this. You will see second row came. Okay, this is 600. You can see this one. The basically you can say this is the 600 main value. You can see 300.42, 301.83. You can see the result next to next. Okay, so 600, 342, 301.83, 300, something like that. So this particular index we got one. But what is the problem here? You cannot modify like this one by one. We have thousands of items like this. How you can able to handle this kind of issue? Okay, so there is a easy solution. Many people think I can able to put this copy activity inside for each, and I can get one by one value, and I'll try to pass it. See now, let's say I can also show you how what all things you may try. Right. So let me just show you. You just put for each here. Right click on this, cut this, go insert for each. You people try to put this okay here. Now in this for each, what you people will try to do, I know. Come here, sequential, one by one I want to not a parallel. And there is a function called create array. Create array, just click on create array. You will try to say something like this, I want to pass it. Okay, let's take 5 items, not more than, because this will not work. Copy have to come to mappings. Okay, so now what you will do, advanced editor, you will enable, and now you see if you click on this, you are not getting any dynamic content. You're not getting any dynamic content. How you will pass it? Even if you want to select a variable or whatever, it is not possible. We will pass value here. It's not possible. So, but what is the solution? The solution that I'm going to explain is very easy. You will see, you will surprise with the solution. Okay, just cut it and delete this for each now. You don't need to iterate through those things. Okay, copy data, actually put it. Source we selected, REST API, sync is database, come to mappings. Only thing that you need to do is if you go to your JSON data, Okay, you go here, you see this is the collection of values. I need to iterate through list. So within copy activity itself, you can say here collection reference is my list. You say here list and select advanced editor. Now once again, now you see, okay, so it's coming something like this, right? What you can do is first let's clear all those results. Now once again, now import schemas. Once import schema is completed, you can see here something like this we have, right? Just to select your list. Okay. Once you select list, now you can say advanced editor. Now you see it is coming as a detail. It's not coming list of 0 item, 1 item, second item. It's coming simply DT, main of temp, main of feels like temp, meaning what happens is these values, individual values will be kept as is, but through this list will be iterated one by one automatically within this copy activity. It does not mean that copy activity will run multiple times. Copy activity will run only one time, but internally it will iterate through all the collections and you will be able to see all those collections. Now, what I'll do, I'll go to this. Let's truncate, let's delete this table because anyhow we have created auto create table. Let me just delete and let's try to create a fresh table. But you can have this table, no issue. You don't need to delete it for this. Run it. Okay, command completed successfully. Table is deleted. Now what you can do? Now let's try to debug once again. Now you will see all the collection of items will be available within your Azure SQL database. Okay, very good. It got failed. So you know why the failure again. We did something called auto import. So there are some columns which are coming as a null. You see, there is no mapping to this. Okay, you need to map it as an ID and look at some issues. If you have anything, see here also there is ID which is not mapped. You can say this is called a city underscore ID. You can call it as, okay, and go up little bit wherever you have. This is ID. This is which ID? Weather ID. You can just put it as a weather underscore ID. You need to look at these kind of issues. Okay. Now you try to debug once again. Even if you look at error message, it will tell you clearly because okay, I'll show you that error message. See, it is succeeded. Now first let's come here and say select star from cloud TBL. You will see all the items are iterated. So all the items it is iterated. A lot of items we have. You can just see like this. Lot of items we have. Okay, you can just see all those things. Okay, so something like this we can able to achieve this. Okay, so whatever error you got earlier, that error message, if you want to see, come to monitor tab, and I can just go to debugs. See earlier result is this is the earlier result. Okay, so just click on this particular pipeline, or you can just click on this error message. Anything is fine. Okay, just click on this particular. This will not tell you anything, sorry. Just click on this error message. It tells you, see, one or more sync in copy of mapping does not point to any data. So we have seen ID is not pointing to any column in the sync. We just have adjusted those things, right? So that's what so error message itself tell you very clearly what is the problem. You can just take the step based on the error that you are getting. Okay, that's all, friends. If you have any issues, you can just ping in comment box. I'll respond to you people. So I will make more videos on REST API because many people are struggling that I've seen. Okay, and I'm also not getting time to help you people. So that's why I'll make few videos on REST API so that you people will be happy. Okay? Thank you all. Thank you.